Chef Greg Silverman tells us about Share Our Strengths Cooking Matters. Can trans fats make you aggressive? And clean up your drinking water. For March 28, 2012, this is Food News Today. Good morning. Food News Today is sponsored by ConAgra Foods, who shares with me the desire to provide the most current, interesting, and unbiased food news. To start today, we've got some great information from Chef Greg Silverman, the Senior Manager and Education Outreach Director from Share Our Strengths Cooking Matters, who's going to tell us about what's going on in educating consumers as they shop. Here's what Greg has to say. So, Chef Greg, tell me, what is Cooking Matters?
Cooking Matters is a national program where we teach cooking to adults and children with 36 lead partners across the country. We reach out to almost 20,000 people a year, teaching cooking skills to help people maximize their food resources. And it's a program of Share Our Strength and part of our larger, what we call our No Kid Hungry campaign, where we really try to help people across the country maximize their food resources to make change in their own lives, in their health, and to make no kid hungry.
Now, you've just released your report, It's Dinner Time. What were some of the most surprising findings?
I think for us, the findings were quite eye-opening. I mean, we partnered with the ConAgra Food Foundation on this report and had an objective third-party company, APCO, who actually performed this research with 1,500 low and middle income adults. The eye-opening parts were people are actually cooking at home more than a majority 5 times a week, for one. And at another level, a lot of people were finding that it's not an issue of food access. It's not an issue of variety not being accessible to them in the supermarkets. It really, for a majority of people, to eat healthy is an issue for them because of price.
So is the whole issue of food deserts and also people who live in poverty eating just at fast food restaurants now debunked?
I wouldn't say it's debunked. I think what we find is that accessibility of healthy, nutritious, and affordable options is a very big issue across the country for tens of millions of people. I mean, we have 1 in 5 children at risk of hunger across the United States. And we're finding that less people are actually going out to eat. So it's not a question of fast foods being the issue. It's a question of price being a problem for many Americans across the country when they're trying to, in this sort of age of a sort of austere economy, to have healthy food for their children and their families.
The USDA just released its price projections to the year 2021. Top line is prices are going to continue to go up. So what can we do to help ourselves and help others as well?
I mean, I think this is where programs like within Cooking Matters, we have a program called Shopping Matters. We run grocery store tours. We focus on a few key messages: fresh, frozen, canned fruits and vegetables. It's not the form that matters. A lot of people from our study thought only fresh produce is actually healthy for you, and which really is a misnomer. I mean, frozen and canned vegetables can be healthy as well, and they can usually be a lot more affordable to a lot of our low-income and middle-income people. Another option within our Shopping Matters tour, we talk about unit pricing and nutritional labels, helping people sort of decipher the label and understand how they can make healthy and affordable choices when they only have limited dollars and limited resources at the supermarket.
Thank you, Chef Greg, not for just coordinating such a fabulous program, but also telling us what we can all do to help.
Thank you very much.
From supermarket store tours to the environment, we're all connected, and here's Rebecca with this week's segment about cleaning up our waterways.
The waterways of the United States have historically been collecting spots of trash and debris. This debris can be harmful and even fatal to all manners of marine wildlife and can damage the state's economy. Here in Durham, North Carolina, local businesses and NGOs come together for the county's annual Creek Week. Creek Week provides an opportunity for Durham residents to do their part in protecting waterways through volunteer projects. Of the many projects included in this year's Creek Week was a cleanup of Jordan Lake, the municipal water supply of the cities of Cary, Pittsboro, and Raleigh. The marine debris that clutter Jordan Lake pose a significant threat to human health in these cities. Syringes, broken glass, and other hazardous items can cause serious harms to beachgoers. Furthermore, the plastic bags, fishing lines, and nets can wrap around propellers and clog seawater intakes, resulting in significant damage and creates a safety hazard. More importantly, fish and marine mammals are greatly harmed by marine debris. Fish will ingest plastics that mimic their natural food sources, and they could feel full, leading to malnutrition or starvation. Ways you can reduce marine debris in your nation's waterways is by participating in a beach or lake cleanup, recycling, and always remembering that the land and the sea, no matter where you live, are connected.
Thanks, Rebecca. And I hope everyone will participate in cleaning up our waterways one way or another. Just by doing your part by recycling, it's a huge step in the right direction. In our next segment, we take a look at an ingredient that's making the way out of the standard American diet, thankfully. The latest news on trans fats is that they can lead to aggressive behavior. Wow. And many of us thought that these man-made fats were bad enough, affecting the fat ratios in our bodies, insulin response, aging, inflammation, and of course, heart health. So now let's throw aggressive behavior in the mix. It's definitely great news that these fats are being phased out of our food supply. A recent study looking at the National Health and Nutrition Education Survey data found that blood levels of trans fats were nationally representative sample of Americans had declined by a whopping 58%. This significant drop can be linked to the fact that some cities and regions have actually instigated trans fat bans, and that the government has required labeling of this fat on all nutrition facts labels. And most consumers know it's an ingredient no-no. Lead researcher Beatrice Gollum, who's the associate professor at the University of California, San Diego Department of Medicine, commented, if the association between trans fats and aggressive behavior proves to be casual, this adds further rationale to the recommendation to avoid eating trans fats or including them in foods provided at institutions like schools and prisons, since the detrimental effects of trans fats may extend beyond the person who consumes them to affect others. I certainly agree with that. Researchers also said greater trans fat intake was more consistently predictive of aggression and irritability across the measures tested than the other known aggression predictors that were assessed. But know that not all fats are bad. On the other hand, omega-3 fatty acids that are found in fatty fish, such as salmon, mackerel, as well as from seeds like chia and flax, have been linked to reduced aggression and irritability. Keep in mind, though, that consumption of trans fats inhibits omega-3 production. Let me know what's on your food mind. Have you ever noticed aggressive behavior in those who ate a diet of a lot of trans fats? And remember to log on to foodnewstoday.com anytime to access our archives and replay this and other episodes, and also download our add-ons. Thanks for watching.